If work-life balance were a real person, many women with advanced degrees will have tried to shadow her, and she will have cancelled last minute due to unforeseen priorities. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about work-life balance for women in higher education between ages of 25 and 45. That is the decade and a half where many women are simultaneously building careers, building relationships, building families, building reputations, building bodies back from stress, and building a private list titled Things I Will Do When I Finally Have Time, which is then never opened again. I'm Dr. Elena Chirikhina, a lifestyle medicine advocate and researcher dedicated to helping busy professionals use evidence-based habits to protect their health while pursuing high-level work. If you are looking for practical, science-backed strategies to navigate midlife, reduce stress, and improve your metabolic health without sacrificing your ambition, I invite you to subscribe. Join our community so you never miss a lecture on how to build a life you don't need to constantly recover from. This lecture is not here to blame women or blame men or blame universities or blame capitalism or blame your phone. Over your phone has earned a small portion of blame. This lecture is about correcting the map. Because you cannot balance a system that was never designed with your biology, your psychology, and social reality in mind. And I want to be explicit about the spirit of this talk. This is not a competitive narrative, not woman versus man, not career versus family, not ambition versus softness. Balance is not a fight where one side wins and the other side loses. Balance is choreography. It's a partnership. It's like the left and right legs of the same body. Neither one is better. But if one leg tries to do all the walking, you collapse. We will cover the three dimensions: biology, psychology, and social norms. We will also address the amour problem, love, desire, intimacy, and the way stress changes romantic life. We will discuss the positive and negative sides of women being in higher education. And then we will learn to 5 practical solutions, 5 levers you can pull this week, not 5 life theories you can admire from a distance. I'm going to speak in a way that respects science, respects lived experience, and respects both genders. I will use humor not to dismiss pain, but to lower defensiveness. Humor is a nervous system signal. It says, we are safe enough to learn. Let's begin. The modern educated woman is the first human in history who can have a doctoral-level understanding of stress, psychology, while still crying in the bathroom because the calendar invited her to a meeting during her lunch break. For most of human history, women were not allowed to pursue knowledge in formal institutions. Many were excluded from universities, excluded from professions, excluded from economic autonomy. In the last century, that changed dramatically. Women entered higher education at scale, achieved degrees, entered allied fields, built careers, and shaped culture. This is one of the greatest social transformations of the modern world, and it brought real advantages: autonomy, voice, economic security, personal choice, cognitive confidence. Many women feel the joy of earning their own money, shaping their own identity, and contributing at a high level. Yet, we must also be honest. The same era has been rising levels of anxiety, burnout, insomnia, relationship stress, fertility anxiety, loneliness, and a emotional fatigue that even high achievement cannot wash away. This is the paradox. Women are more educated and more capable than ever, and many feel less free inside their own lives. That paradox is not because education is bad. It's because education and professional structure are often built on an old model, a linear, continuous, always available worker. That model was designed historically around male physiology, male social roles, and a household structure where someone else managed domestic life. Even in modern dual income homes, the invisible labor is still often unevenly distributed. So, what happens when women enter a system designed for a different biological and social template? They adapt. Women are brilliant at adaptation, but adaptation has a cost. The cost often looks like this. You succeed externally while your nervous system collapses internally. You have a brilliant mind and a tired body. You have a full CV and empty sense of spaciousness. You are admired and lonely at the same time. When we talk about balance, we often assume it's an individual skill problem. Like you just need better time management, a better planner, or a new app. But most women do not have a planner problem. They have a systems problem. Balance requires two things. First, an intelligent individual strategy and human environment. You can do your part. You cannot single-handed repair an institution. But you can change how you interface with it, how you protect your biology, how you structure your week, how you negotiate your roles, and how you rebuild pleasure. And that brings us to biology. You can intellectually deny your biology, but your biology will politely respond by stealing your sleep. Let's start with a simple truth that is strangely controversial in modern culture. Female biology is not an opinion. It's not a social construct. It is a living rhythmic system. Most workplace and academic systems assume a stable, linear output. The same energy, same focus, same emotional bandwidth, day after day. The assumption is if you are serious, you should be consistent. But female physiology is cyclical. That does not mean unstable, it means rhythmic. It means there are phases where certain cognitive and emotional capacities are naturally highlighted, and phases where restoration and inward attention are naturally prioritized. Now, not every woman experiences cycles in the same way. Some use hormonal contraception, some have irregular cycles, some have conditions like polycystic ovary syndromes or endometriosis. Some are postpartum or breastfeeding. Some are approaching perimenopause. But the foundational concept remains. The female endocrine system is dynamic. A cyclic system has advantages. It supports creativity, social attunement, relational intelligence, and adaptive resilience. Many women report phases of high drive, high communication capacity, high confidence, and high analytical clarity. Many also report phases of highlighted sensitivity, deeper intuition, and a need for slower pacing. The problem is not the cycle. The problem is the expectation of linearity. When a woman tries to live like a machine, she often becomes a machine that breaks. Let's translate biology into daily reality. Stress psychology. Chronic stress raises cortisol and adrenaline. This can increase short-term productivity but reduces long-term health and emotional stability. High cortisol impairs sleep, increases inflammation, and affects appetite regulation. Over time, it can disturb ovulation and menstrual cycle, reduce libido, and increase anxiety. Sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It's the primary biological repair system. Many high achieving women sacrifice sleep first because it feels like the only flexible resource. But sleep deprivation changes the brain capacity for emotional regulation, attention, and impulse control. It amplifies interpersonal conflict. It makes everything feel heavier. The same problem becomes twice as large when you are tired. Reproductive timeline pressure. Between 25 and 45, many women face a unique pressure. The collision between career building years and reproductive years. Even women who do not want children still live inside a culture that constantly comments on fertility, age, and timing. And women who do want children must navigate medical realities, relationship realities, and institutional realities. It's not fair, but it's true. Biology places time constraints on female reproduction. Social systems place time constraints on career progression. The overlap creates stress. This is not about women should choose family over career, nor the opposite. This is about acknowledging that women are asked to make complex decisions under conflicting pressure, and pretending those pressures don't exist is not empowerment. It's denial dressed as confidence. For many women, perimenopause can be in the late 30s or early 40s. It can bring changes in sleep, mood, metabolism, and cognition. Many women experience brain fog, anxiety spikes, and increased sensitivity to stress. And higher education environments rarely provide language or support for these transitions. So biology matters, but biology alone does not explain the entire struggle. Psychology matters too. Women in academia and higher status professions often carry two careers, the one on paper and the one in their head. Let's talk about the psychological landscape. Women in higher education over-experience perfectionism, imposter feelings, hyper-responsibility, conflict avoidance, and emotional labor overload. Perfectionism is not high standards. It's fear dressed as excellence. Many women learn that being good is not enough. They must be outstanding to be respected. This often comes from early socialization. Girls receive praise for being good, helpful, nice, and later for being impressive. The risk is that the identity becomes, if I'm not performing exceptionally, I'm not safe. Imposter feelings are not a sign of low competence. They often occur precisely in competent people who are operating at the edge of growth. But women might experience these feelings more intensively due to social messaging, stereotype threat, or being in environments where leadership models look different from them. Many women carry a sense of responsibility not only for their tasks, but for the emotional climate of the team, in the lab, a department, or family. They are the ones who remember birthdays, smooth conflicts, mentor juniors, and keep meetings emotionally stable. This work is real work, but it's rarely rewarded formally. Women are often trained to reserve harmony. This can make boundary setting feel like a moral failure. A woman says no, and her nervous system reacts as if she has threatened belongings. That is not weakness. That is social conditioning. Emotional labor is the work of managing emotions, yours and others, to maintain social function. In higher education and professional settings, women often do more emotional labor, calming students, mediating tensions, making space feel safe, translating conflict into polite language, and holding relationships. Emotional labor costs energy. Energy is a limited resource. When you spend invisibly, you feel depleted without knowing why. Now add the double bind. If a woman is ambitious, she risks being labeled cold, aggressive, or too much. If she's warm, she risks being labeled unserious, emotional, or not leadership material. If she sets boundaries, she is difficult. If she doesn't, she is exploited. The psychological result is internal splitting. Women learn to monitor themselves constantly. Am I too direct, too soft, too confident, not confident enough? The self-monitoring consumes cognitive bandwidth. Men also face pressure, but the specific performance plus likability. Tasks do weigh heavier on women. In many contexts, men are judged primarily by competence. Women are judged by competence plus social compliance. This is exhausting. And exhaustion affects love. Nothing kills romance faster than a woman who is mentally preparing for next grant application while being hugged. Let's bring warmth and honesty. Many women between 25 and 45 who are in demanding intellectual environments report lower libido, reduced playfulness, irritability, emotional distance, guilt about not wanting intimacy, confusion about attraction. The common story is something is wrong with me. Often, nothing is wrong. Something is happening. Desire is not only psychological, it's physiological. Desire requires safety, relaxation, time, space, and often polarity, difference, tension, curiosity. Chronic stress signals the nerve system. We are in survival mode. The body prioritizes survival, not reproduction, not pleasure, not romance. In survival mode, cortisol rises, the digestive system slows, libido often drops, and emotional reactivity increases. So, a woman might love her partner and still not feel desire. She might be attracted in theory, but not in practice. She might long for connection, but feel overwhelmed by touch. And this is where shame enters. Women often blame themselves. Partners often take it personally. A cycle forms. Pressure increases. Desire decreases. Resettlement grows. But when we treat desire as a nervous system outcome, we can work with it. A key phrase is you cannot negotiate intimacy with a dysregulated nervous system. Also, modern relationship structures have changed. Many couples are dual career. Many have limited community support. Many live far from family. In the past, there were more shared resources, extended family, neighbors, community rituals. Today, couples are expected to be everything to each other: lover, best friend, therapist, co-parent, financial partner, and social network. That's a lot. Even love gets tired. So the solution is not try harder. The solution is build a system that supports connection. We will get to practical solutions soon, but first we need to name the social pressure. Society told women, you can have it all. Then it quietly added, and please look rested while doing it. Modern women face layered social expectations. Be successful, but not intimidating. Be feminine, but not manipulative. Be maternal, but not distracted. Be youthful, but not insecure. Be independent, but not lonely. Be sexually confident, but not too sexual. Be grateful always. This is not just external pressure. It becomes internalized. It becomes a voice in the head. And that voice is loudest at night. Social media makes it worse. Not because women are shallow, but because social comparison is a human brain feature. The brain monitors status and belonging. Social media offers curated highlights. Women compare their behind the scene to someone else's edited reel. In higher education, there is also a unique culture of overwork. Many academic environments glorify sacrifice, long hours, missed vacations, working weekends, and measuring worth by productivity. Women in these environments face a conflict. If they step back to protect life balance, they might fear being seen as less committed. Add motherhood to this, and the moral judgment intensifies. Mothers are judged for working. Women without children are judged for not working the right way or for being too career-focused. There is no winning under judgment. So the only winning move is stop playing that game. Balance requires choosing your values over other people's opinions. Now, let's be fair. Higher education also offers profound positives. Let's name them clearly. One of the most attractive things in the world is a woman who has her own mind. Higher education can offer intellectual confidence, economical independence, exposure to diverse ideas, the ability to contribute to society, and a deep sense of meaning. Educated women often communicate more effectively, advocate for health and well-being, model critical thinking for children and communities, and bring ethical depth to institutions. Higher education can expand a woman's self-concept. It can protect her from dependence. It can give her choices that previous generations did not have. It can also provide pleasure, the pleasure of understanding, of mastery, of creative work, of mentorship, of being in rooms where ideas matter. We should not erase these gifts. But we also must discuss the shadow costs. Sometimes women win the race and then discover the finish line is inside a different life than they wanted. Hidden costs can include chronic stress normalization. Many women treat exhaustion as normal. They assume everyone feels this way. They become high-functioning burnout. They perform well, but inside they feel flat, anxious, or numb. Disconnection from the body. The intellectual environments women might live from the neck up. They become brilliant at thinking and less practiced at sensing. They ignore hunger. They ignore fatigue. They ignore emotional health. The body becomes a machine that carries the mind. Pleasure erosion. When life becomes about performance, pleasure becomes suspicious. Rest feels guilty. Play feels wasteful. Sensuality feels optional. But pleasure is not optional. It's a biological regulator. Pleasure is how the nervous system remembers safety. Career demands can reduce time for friendship, partnership, and community. Many women experience loneliness despite being surrounded by colleagues. Women might delay childbearing due to education and career. Some do so happily, some with ambivalence, some with grief. The anxiety around timing can become a chronic stressor. If their main identity becomes, am I my achievements, then any failure threatens self-worth. Women might fear slowing down because slowing down feels like disappearing. These costs are not inevitable, but they are common in current systems. Now we arrive at the heart. What is balance, really? Balance is not a fixed destination. It's a living negotiation with reality. Balance is not 50-50. Balance is not perfect symmetry. Balance is not doing everything equally. Balance is not being calm all the time. Balance is not a pastel planner aesthetics. Balance is dynamic. It's seasonal. It's responsive. Think of balance like walking. One leg moves, one leg stabilizes. Then they shift. If one leg tries to do everything, you fall. In life, sometimes career leads, sometimes family leads, sometimes rest prioritized, sometimes health need to be prioritized, sometimes you need time for grief, sometimes love. Balance means you can shift lead roles without shame. Time is not time management. Time is energy management. Time is fixed. Energy is flexible. And energy is influenced by sleep, nutrition, movement, relationships, stress, hormones, and meaning. So balance begins with the body. Now we move into 5 solutions. First solution, biological literacy and rhythmic planning. Your cycle is not an inconvenience. It is a scheduling system you were born with. Biological literacy means you understand your own rhythms and plan accordingly. Practical steps. Track your cycle for at least 3 months. Notice energy, mood, focus, appetite, and your social desire. Identify your high output days and schedule deep work, presentations, negotiations, and creative. Push them there. Identify your restoration days and schedule lower intensity tasks, admin, work, reading, gentle movement, and more sleep. If you are on contraception or have irregular cycles, track your energy patterns weekly anyway. Everyone has rhythms, sleep cycles, stress cycles, and workload cycles. In academia or professional life, rhythmic planning can feel radical because the system is linear, but you can still plan within it. Micro adjustments matter. If you know you are sensitive before menstruation, schedule fewer high-stakes social events. If you know you are sharp mid-cycle, schedule important writing or strategic meetings. If you are in perimenopause or sleep is unstable, plan mornings for deep work and afternoons for lighter tasks. This is not weakness. This is intelligent design. Second solution, nervous system. First, regulation before optimization. You don't need more discipline. You need a calmer nervous system. Many women treat the nervous system like afterthought. They try to solve exhaustion with more productivity tactics. But productivity is a nervous system outcome. When you feel safe and rested, your brain works better. Practical regulators are sleep protection. Treat sleep like a meeting with your future self, not negotiable most nights. Morning light, natural light, early supports circadian rhythm and your mood. Movement, not punishment exercise, but regulation movement, walks, strength training, dancing, stretching, yoga, breathing and downshifts. A 2-minute slow breathing practice can shift physiology. Food rhythm. Stable meals reduce cortisol spikes. Avoid long fasting if it destabilizes mood. Also consider boundaries, as boundaries are nervous system medicine. And boundary is not an attitude. It is a psychological intervention. It reduces overcommitment, which reduces stress, improves sleep, improves emotional regulation, which improves relationships. First solution, role consciousness and the art of good enough. If you are trying to be extraordinary in every role at the same time, congratulations, you have invented a new sport called competitive exhaustion. Role consciousness means you recognize you are playing multiple roles and you choose intentionally how much energy each role gets in a given season. List your roles: professional, partner, friend, daughter, mother or future mother, learner, self-carer, community member. Now ask, which role is in the growth season right now? Which role are in maintenance season? Which roles are in a rest season? Not every role gets maximum energy at the same time. Good enough is not failure. Sustainability. A woman who aims for perfection in every domain will eventually lose pleasure, health, or love. To give you practical steps, choose one anchor role per quarter. For example, this quarter, my anchor is my dissertation. My relationship is maintenance. My social life is in rest. Next quarter, my anchor shifts. This reduces guilt. Guilt is a major energy leak. Fourth solution, relational maintenance as healthcare. Connection is not a luxury. It's your biology. Women often sacrifice friendships and intimacy first. They think, I will reconnect later. But later becomes years. Rational maintenance includes one weekly connection ritual with a partner, a walk, a dinner without screens, one weekly friend touch point, a few minutes call, coffee, or message, one community touch point, like a group class, faith community, or women's circle, or even volunteering. For couples, make love easier by making life softer. Reduce the pressure around intimacy. Build nervous system safety. Touch without expectation. Play without performance. For men and women, when you treat relationships like optional extras, you lose the everything that makes work meaningful. And final, fifth solution, meaning, feminine energy, and pleasure as your compass. The most dangerous thing for a high-achieving woman is success without meaning. Meaning is the antidote to burnout, not motivational quotes. Meaning. Feminine energy here does not mean stereotypes. It means qualities often undervalued in performance culture. Receptivity, intuition, creativity, relational intelligence, embodiment, sensuality, rhythm, softness with strength. Pleasure is not indulgence. Pleasure is your guidance. It tells you what is alive in you. It helps you choose. It refuse. I will give you some practical steps. Schedule small pleasures daily. Sunlight, your favorite music, a slow tea or coffee, a 10-minute walk, a warm shower, without rushing. Schedule bigger pleasures weekly: dance, nature, art, meaningful conversation, and rest. Ask, what part of my life feels alive? What part feels dead? Then adjust one thing. Meaning also requires values clarity. If you do not choose your values, society will choose them for you, and it will choose your productivity. The deep truth is you are not a problem to solve. The most healing sentence for a high-achieving woman is, you don't need to earn rest. Many women feel they must deserve rest. They must finish everything first, but everything is endless. Rest is not a reward. Rest is a biological requirement. Also, softness is not weakness. Softness is advanced nervous system function. A regulated woman can access warmth, creativity, and connection without losing competence. The goal is not to become less ambitious. The goal is to become more united. The feminine future is integration. The future is not women acting like men or men acting like women. The future is both genders becoming more human. Let's finish with a vision. Imagine a woman who is brilliant and rested, ambitious and warm, strong and playful, committed and spacious, educated and embodied. Educated and embodied. She does not compete with men. She collaborates with them. She does not shame her biology. She uses it. She does not sacrifice love for success. She designs success to include love. Balance is not something you find. Balance is something you build. And you build it by choosing 5 things: biological literacy, nervous system regulation, role consciousness, relational maintenance, and meaning with pleasure. If you adapt these, you do not just survive higher education and high achievement. You become the woman who changes what those systems look like. Because the highest level of education is not information, it is integration.